Whoa! What a Z Nation finale that was. Oh my goodness. Hey everybody, Derek here. I'm here to bring you my video review for the season finale of Z Nation. And oh my gosh, I never would have imagined that that was probably one of the best finales that they could have come up with and that I'd probably seen in a very long time. I mean, wow, they really went above and beyond my expectations and just shocked the heck out of me. They really did, and I'm sure they did for a lot of others. So we got some things to talk about. Do not watch if you have not seen the episode, or else you will be majorly spoiled. Okay, so basically a lot is going on in this episode. They finally make it to the base. Like, you know how they were originally going to California? Well, the base got relocated to Colorado, it seems. So they were right in the vicinity. And Citizen Z basically leads them there, and there is just a lab full of, different kinds of zombies and everything. And it's definitely looking very, weird. Like already from the beginning, I mean, things are just looking really crazy. You get down there and there's kind of like mutated zombies in a way, like they look different. You see like there was this woman in a tank who's basically being eaten by flies. I don't know what that was about. I'm assuming that she must have been given some kind of a vaccination of some kind of like Murphy's. And then there was a guy who basically near the beginning of the series, excuse me, at the beginning of the episode, who was infected but was given some kind of a antidote of some kind, or some kind of vaccine or experiment that they basically been doing. It was the same doctor that had been experimenting on patients before, and who was the one who injected Murphy. And this guy basically ended up, I don't even know how you can describe it. Basically, like, just picture this big, like, skeleton slime half body thing that can still talk. And that's the thing, is that he basically was able to talk. He wasn't a zombie, but he just looked very rotted away. I don't know if that's just the zombie virus taking its effect, or whether it may be, and I'll explain a little bit about that later. But Murphy gives him mercy. This was the very first time that we have seen Murphy kill a zombie on the show. He has not done this before, and I think that in that moment, he really sympathized with the guy and realized the terrible situation that he was in. And whether you can actually consider him a zombie or not, I don't know. Because, I mean, he really did in all respects seem like Murphy, except he was just totally, like, wasted away. But a lot going on. This episode featured flashbacks. This is one of the few times that we have seen them. And I think this is the first time that we've seen a flashback that even took place before this whole zombie apocalypse started. Most of the other flashbacks that we've seen, they pretty much took place at some point earlier in the zombie apocalypse, but the zombie apocalypse was still going on. And there was this guy going around, he was a doctor, bald. I can't remember his name because he went by an alias, and I know it started with a K, so I'm just going to call him Dr. K. Basically going around and looking at different kinds of individuals throughout the episode. He's basically traveling around the world. Like there was this guy, he appeared to be a drug addict who basically was wasting away. I mean, his body, like his skin was basically just coming off of him. And there was another person who was like suffering from some other kind of a disease. There was a guy who survived an earthquake who basically they called him the living zombie because he could respond to like commands, but he wasn't communicative. And basically, the doctor would stick a needle up their nose. Excuse me. He would stick a needle up their nose and basically get some parts of their brain and some DNA and blood and all that. And was using it. At first we thought that he might be, looking for a cure. That was definitely possible. Or maybe he was just, preparing for what was to come. But it turns out he's actually an international terrorist. Not really a surprise. Does make sense in the end. He's not trying to find a cure. He's basically the creator of the virus, and it's very interesting, that he would create a virus that would have those effects. But one of the things that some storylines do is that, um, the virus wasn't supposed to turn out like it was supposed to. I think they were talking about like he was trying to find like a way to, get mind control over people or something like that. So he was basically selling it to armies, terrorist groups, things like that. He definitely was very interesting. It was a very shocking episode, just seeing everything that happened. So many developments. I mean, it would basically seem like there is no lab. And the doctor, I think her name was Merja, she's dead, it seems. At some point she died off screen. Or she may have been killed by the terrorist. Dr. K. It is a possibility. We don't know necessarily what happened. We just know that several individuals got infected at different times, and she was experimenting on people. So it seems like she was somebody who appeared to be doing the right thing, but other people had other interests. So definitely a lot going on there. And then, boy, we have some major moments throughout the episode that basically are just, left us with a big old cliffhanger. I mean, there was no other way to describe how that was. Cassandra was still suffering from her leg wound. It was basically dying slowly of, probably what do you call it? Maybe gangrene, septic blood poisoning, things like that. They basically left her in a room, and Murphy went in there and off screen, and this is what I think happened, because it almost looks like Cassandra was bitten. And the thing is, I mean, we really haven't seen what Murphy's bites can do, because usually the people that are bitten aren't around long enough to live. Because he bit that one guy in the episode right after Welcome to the FU Bar. Yep, that's it. He bit the guy there, but the guy died before we could really understand what was going to happen. He didn't turn into a zombie, though. When he died, he bit that one guy that they were trying to go in and get the drugs in the last episode, but he died too. So really, we haven't seen if Murphy's bites have some kind of a everlasting effect. Because that's the thing, is if a regular zombie bites you, you die and turn into a zombie. Whereas, it would appear that Cassandra became something almost like Murphy. I don't know if you could say exactly. And who knows, I mean, maybe with time, if she's still alive, they may show that she does. Because she comes in and she's basically like, no, I'm not dead. And she had like this mark on her face where I think that Murphy may have bitten her there, in order to save her. It is a very good possibility that, again, Murphy being kind of like the living dead, if he bites somebody else, then it makes them just like him. So definitely was very interesting. And Cassandra basically comes in and kicks the crap out of the soldiers that were with the doctor. The doctor basically, wants Murphy to stay. Now, whether that's because he wants to further his, maybe experimenting more with the virus. I mean, the thing is that I don't really know if what his plans are right now. They didn't really go into that too much as to whether he's going to be looking to further the virus even more, or if he's actually trying to find a cure because it had unintentional consequences. So we really don't know what his role necessarily is. Hopefully we will see him again. And basically, the episode ends, we don't know what happened to Cassandra because she was down there dealing with the soldiers, and Doc gets shot, unfortunately, and he ends up with, like a gunshot wound somewhere in like his shoulder, upper chest area, and he appeared to almost be bleeding out of his mouth, it would seem. So he's not in very good shape. And basically, Murphy didn't want to stay around for to be experimented on. He realized that things were going on, and Citizen Z basically the whole time was leading them into the lab, thinking that this is where they're experimenting for a cure, and then finding out that this guy is totally the bad guy. He's a villain. He's not out looking for a cure. It would seem he's the one that created the virus. So Murphy leaves. And it's definitely upsetting. I think that Murphy in many ways felt very betrayed by what all happened. Being infected with the virus definitely had a very negative effect on him. There's no doubt about it. His body is going through changes that we've seen ever since the very first episode, and who knows what other kind of changes he's going to go through. But at this point, I can understand why he can't trust anybody. And he pretty much leaves. Of course, when you leave the lab, if you don't go through decontamination, then nukes are going to be sent to that area to blow the area up, because you don't want those viruses getting released out into the public. You hear about those kind of things where, if the CDC were to be breached, it would explode, kind of like in The Walking Dead, what happened there. But basically, nukes get sent over that way. So pretty much the rest of the episode is like everybody getting the heck out of Dodge. And while Murphy's in the elevator going up to the top floor, he starts pulling off his skin, which we saw his skin was coming off before, but we don't see the after effect. It literally was like a snake shedding its skin. And basically, we don't know what Murphy looks like right now. He probably looks pretty freaky. And he may look just like the doctor did, who was at the beginning of the episode, who basically got the vaccine or the antidote or whatever from Dr. Merja, and who Murphy gave mercy to. He may look just like that now. We don't know. So basically, we didn't get to see a picture of him or what he looked like. He drove off in the van, and then Warren, 10,000, and Doc drive off in their own vehicle. And, of course, nukes are just falling everywhere. And then Citizen Z finds out that nukes are being sent towards him, and he basically tries to escape, goes outside, and there's like 5 or 6 of them just coming right at him, and he's like, I hate the apocalypse. Perfect way to sum everything up and end it. But, I was shocked at how great the tension and the quality was of this season finale. They definitely made a lot of advancements, and I think that we definitely have a good basis for some kind of story next year in 2015. I don't know when the show is coming back. I would assume maybe in the fall. We got a long wait, it might seem, but wow, they really, really surprised us and surprised me for sure. With the quality of the work that they did. Left us off with a lot of cliffhangers. I mean, we don't know. Citizen Z might be dead, because there's a bunch of nukes flying at him. I don't know how he's going to get out of that. And then I don't see how the other guys are going to outrun the nukes either, but hey, it's Z Nation. Anything's possible. Heck, they might land and, since they were sitting there for years and years and years, maybe they won't detonate. That is a possibility. And of course, 2 other big developments happened in this episode as well. One, 10,000's real name is Tommy, it would seem. Cassandra called him by his name twice during the episodes. Excuse me. So we know 10,000's real name, and he's now up to, I think, 3,003 kills. So he's about a third of the way there already. It's very nice to see. And the big reveal that definitely got me was Mac's alive, and Addie both are alive, and basically they were looking at the nuke falling out of the sky, and they're like, "What the heck?" Now the thing is, though, we don't know if they were together or if they're still in separate areas, because Mac was like, it showed Mac looking up, but then it showed Addie looking up, and the backgrounds kind of look different. So Addie might still be with the sisters, and instead of Mac getting killed, he realized, I'm not going to get shot and killed. He may have gotten away and is just maybe biding his time and figuring out when he's going to make his move. We don't know, but they're both alive, and it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they affect the show next season. I was so impressed. This episode was great. Probably the best of the series, honestly. I think they really made up for a lot of things that they may not have done right at certain parts. I mean, every show is going to have their pluses and minuses. You can't, deny that. But wow, that was a great, great episode. And I am very impressed with what Z Nation has done. It's definitely established itself as a great show. Definitely provides a different outlook on the zombie apocalypse that we may never have seen before. And I can't wait for next year. I'm just as excited for Z Nation to come back as I am for Walking Dead. And that definitely shows just how much of an impact Z Nation can have and how it can compete with Walking Dead. It's definitely done things better in some respects than what Walking Dead has. And I'm going to do a video basically giving my thoughts on some things, like the pros and cons of each show. So stay tuned for that, and I want to thank you guys who have been following along with Z Nation with me this season. I really do appreciate it. I'm still going to be doing Walking Dead videos, and I'll try to do some Z Nation videos. We really don't get a lot of information on Z Nation like we do Walking Dead, so I don't know how many videos I'm going to be able to do on Z Nation while it's on hiatus. But wow, they definitely did a great job, and I'm very happy. And I just want to thank every single one of you who has been watching and following along. Thank you very much. If you guys have any questions or comments, don't be afraid to leave them. I'm definitely up for discussion on this episode. Feel free to subscribe. I do have videos coming, and I will be around for season 2 to see what happens. And if you guys have any video topics that you would like to see in the interim, while we're on hiatus, don't be afraid to hesitate. Don't be afraid to shoot me a message, post it in the comments, whatever you like. Thank you all again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you.